Good morning, everyone. How's everybody doing out there all around the country, man? It's Friday. We're getting ready to get things going out here with our live sales meeting. We just hit this button right here on this phone because we're going also on this, the only way that I can do it on Instagram as well. So I want to welcome you guys to 15 Minutes of Mastery right here with us with Manufactured Home Sales Mastery, where today we're talking on the topic of tenacity. All right, tenacity. Check this out. I want to share this with you guys real quick. There can be no success in sales without tenacity. Now, you guys in Instagram can't see what I'm showing the rest of the crew here on the live webinar that we're doing or live stream that we're doing. But Chris Murray writes, there is no success in sales without tenacity. So what exactly does tenacity mean? What is tenacity? Well, I'm glad that you asked. Let me show you something here. Tenacity, as it is in the dictionary, I'm going to share that so you can read that as well. There it is. The definition, Webster's right here. I want y'all to check out this second one. Persistent in maintaining, adhering to, or seeking something valued or desired. Let me read that to you again. Persistent in maintaining, adhering to, or seeking something valued or desired. That is the definition of tenacious, being tenacious. We hear that a lot in sports, right? He's a tenacious defender. He's just... It's an adjective that's used to describe somebody who is just persistent. And in manufactured home sales, we must be persistent. That's one of the things, and really all sales, right? But I apply everything to manufactured home sales, obviously, because that's what we do here. But being persistent or being tenacious, having tenacity is something that is required in the manufactured home sales world, in sales in general. Now, what does that mean? That means you can't give up. That means you can't just take the first no that people give you. You can't not ask the hard questions, right? Because at the end of the day, all this information that you're asking for is needed in order to get the deal done. You need those things in order to be able to help these people out and help them get the home that they're wanting to, because without asking these tough questions or without pushing a little bit or without being persistent, you're never going to reach the outcome that you're after. You're going to sell some houses here and there. You're going to convince some people. Some people are already convinced to buy. It doesn't matter who sits in front of them. They're going to buy no matter what. But the majority of clients out there, the majority of the home buyers, potential home buyers that are out there are not going to do it unless they are pushed to do it. Because as much as they want to purchase the home, as much as they want to live in that new house, they are scared out of their mind to pull the trigger. And they need that person that is going to pull them through, that is going to push them, that is going to be tenacious, have that tenacity to get them over the finish line. Now, you might ask yourselves, why does it take all of that? Well, it takes all of that because you're dealing with a house. And a lot of times we're dealing with people that are buying homes for the very first time. They're buying their first home ever. And so, of course, they're naturally going to be nervous. They're going to doubt themselves in every sort of way. And what happens when people doubt themselves? When you doubt, you give up. Plain and simple. When you're doubting yourself, when you're doubting anything in life and you hit some sort of roadblock, the natural tendency is to give up because you don't want to challenge yourself. You don't want to be uncomfortable. You don't want to do what needs to be done. You just figure that you want to tell yourself that at least you tried. And that's what these customers do. You got to understand that when they come into the door and they've gone through the motions, you showed them houses. If you pulled the credit, you pulled the credit. If you didn't, you didn't. But what I'm trying to tell you here is these customers that come in, a lot of them, They're going to do the same thing they do in life. And so they show up, they go through it, they go through the whole process, they look at homes, and then they tell you they're going to think about it, or they got to talk to so-and-so, or they're just not sure about this, or they're not sure about that. And if you're not tenacious, you're not persistent, you don't help them push themselves through, they're going to stop. And you know what's going to happen? They're not going to buy. And you know why they're not going to buy? Because they are not wanting to, because they doubt themselves. They doubt themselves, and at least now they have they have something that they can tell themselves, and they can tell everybody else. They can tell their family, they can tell their friends. Yeah, you know what? I went and tried to get a house, but it just it just wasn't the right time. And it makes them feel good that they at least went to the dealership. They went to your location, because now they can at least say that they tried, right? Quote unquote, tried to buy a house. But they don't do it because of that doubt. It's the same thing that you and I do, or that, I try not to do it as much as possible, but it's the same thing that most people do, is that they give themselves the out. They hit a roadblock and they pull out. They stop. Oh no, it's going to be too hard. Oh no, I can't do that. Oh no, I can't do this. That this didn't, the stars didn't align. I didn't wake up on the right side of bed. Whatever it may be. They want to give themselves the excuse. And you know what, man? I could give myself tons of excuses right now. I've had plenty of people that tell me I'm stupid, I'm crazy for even starting this business, for even trying to push through. But no, you must be persistent. You must be tenacious, because if you don't, you never accomplish the things that you're after. Because I could just very easily say, oh, I tried to start a business, but it didn't work out. It was tough. It was hard. Customers were telling me no. People were telling me no. I didn't get the business I thought I was going to get. It didn't happen the way I thought it was going to happen. It never does, folks. And if you give up when things don't happen the way you thought they were going to go, or the way you wish they would have gone, guess what? You're going to give up on a lot of great things. And then you're going to be that person when you're 80, 90 years old on your deathbed, wishing you'd have done this, wishing you'd have done that. So back to our customers. All right. I get off my soapbox now. We must be tenacious. We must have that tenacity in sales. Ask the hard questions. Okay. Right now, as we're building this, there's a lot of times that I've got to ask certain questions of potential clients. I've got to push. I've got to nudge them. And these are people that are already in business. I deal with people that are already in business doing what we do. And I have to be tenacious. I have to be persistent. I have to push. I have to nudge. I have to ask the hard questions, because that is what happens in the buying process. So when you are dealing with clients in manufactured home sales, and when you're in there and you're dealing with them, they're going to give you every excuse why they can't do it, even though they want to. And if you're not persistent enough, then you too are going to suffer. They're not going to get the house they really want and need, and you're not going to get paid. There's two people suffering right there, plus everybody else. That person who said no to the house, their family suffers. And then you not being persistent enough, well, then now your family suffers as well, because you don't have the money you need. You don't have the things that need to be provided. So we must be tenacious. We must execute our daily operations with that tenacity of getting the business done. Ask the hard questions. What are hard questions, man? In training, when we're going through it, even just in the interview process, when you're talking to people before you go show them homes, there's questions that come up, financial questions, right? I always tell everybody, whether they were when I was running a location, or now when I'm dealing with clients and I'm dealing with their sales staff, I have to remind them, you're never going to ask them anything that is not pertinent to the sale. So anything you ask, you're only asking because it's required in the sale. If a customer tells me, when I'm talking to them and I'm interviewing them and I'm trying to find out where they're getting their down payment money from, or I ask them what they're wanting to pay per month, and then they tell me they're going to buy cash. Well, the next question from there is going to be, okay, do you have the money now? I need to see proof of funds. And every time, or not every time, but most times when I talk to housing consultants about that and I share that experience with them, I tell them, the next question is, where is that money at? I need to see it. Because you do. Because how are you supposed to know that they actually have it if you don't ask? And so if you don't ask, right, that hard question, then you're selling yourself short. Because say you go through the whole process and they don't have the money. Let's say you're showing houses, you're doing everything because in your mind, you believed what they told you. And it's not that we're calling these customers liars. We're just, all we're saying is you have to ask the hard questions because that is pertinent to the sale. Right? When it comes down to job time, anything, man, if you're at a location where you actually pull credit, it's just a natural part of the sale, isn't it? To ask for the credit. And so you shouldn't be nervous about it. That's the worst thing you can do, is ask any question in a hesitant manner. If you doubt, customers are going to pick up on it and they're going to think that they don't need to give you that information, but you need the information. If you're out in the house and you're trying to get the deal closed and they're trying to give you the Heisman, right? I always describe it that way. They're giving you the Heisman, telling you slow down, hold up, wait a minute. Okay. And you don't start to bring up the reason why they're even here in front of you. Okay. Reminding them that they said they were here because they wanted to provide this home for their wife or her husband or children, whoever it may be. A lot of housing consultants will tell me, well, what do you mean I'm supposed to tell them about that again? Well, yes, that's part of being tenacious. That's that persistence, because when it comes down to it and it's time to make that decision, you got to realize this. They are going to forget about every reason why they are there in front of you. And they're going to just start thinking with their head. They're just going to see numbers. They're going to see figures. They're going to be thinking about the commitment they're getting themselves into. And they're going to forget the fact that they said they were here because of their wife and kids or their family or whatever the reason may be. And unless you remind them of that, unless you're tenacious enough, persistent enough, bold enough to remind them of that, you're going to miss out. So as we go into the weekend for Saturday, today, Friday, tomorrow, Saturday, we'll be back in here tomorrow at 8:15 for another little round of 15 minutes to mastery. But be bold, be tenacious, operate with tenacity, be persistent, because that's what it takes to be successful in life and in this business. Hope you guys have a great weekend. Just a reminder, man, today, as a matter of fact, we're going to talk about this and more. We're going to role play some scenarios. We're going to go over some objections. We're going to just do the whole thing, man, to help you be a better closer. So we're going to be doing that today. We've got Closer School coming up today. Show you here at 4:00 Central Standard Time. We're going to do a live webinar. If you haven't registered, there is the link for it. If you can't get it off of here, go into any of my social media sites. You can get the link there. Get signed up. Let's see you today at 4 p.m. All right, as we get going into Closer School free webinar today at 4 p.m. Also, want to let you guys know, man, we are putting a 2024 business strategy virtual event together for next month, Saturday, December 16th. I think it's Saturday, December 16th. Should be right. Yes, it is. 16th, Saturday, December 16th, we're going to do a 2024 business strategy virtual event. We're going all day long. Okay. We're going to cover a whole bunch of different topics because 2024 is going to be even harder than 2023 with the way things are going. So we want to set that up. Plus, we're going to do some goal setting. We're going to go into everything as it applies to manufactured homes. We'll get you some details on that. My team doesn't even know about this. They're going to be surprised when we get into our meeting here shortly about that as well. But we got to do it, man. We got to do it. And Another thing we're planning on putting together is what we call an expert housing consultant virtual class, a one-day class for those of you that have been in the business for a while, the seasoned veterans, right? We do the 1 week immersion sales training program for the new hires, the recently new hired, the 1 year or less. But we're going to put out a one-day class, a virtual online event where you can spend all day Friday, December 29th, and we're going to rehash some stuff for you. We're going to fine-tune some skills. We're going to get you re-energized, recharged, so you can take on 2024 and make it an even better year for you. So that'll be Friday, December 20th. We'll get you all the details on this. But for right now, guys, enjoy the rest of your Friday. Have a great weekend. We'll see you in here tomorrow at 8:15 for a Selling Saturday virtual sales meeting. And you guys, enjoy the rest of your day. I can't wait to meet you.